Well, let's move on to Nigel Farage. I've met him a few times, but always like this with cameras around. What's he like behind closed doors? What's the real Nigel?
So funny enough, I was speaking to a friend of mine who is going to come to us from the Conservatives, and she met him. And she said he's so kind and warm. He's such a warm person. I think you can probably tell that on screen. He's a natural people's person. He's curious. He likes people. He's really funny, actually. He loves to crack a joke, and he's great company. I met him before I defected, and it was upon meeting him and having a long conversation with him that I said, you know what, I want to be part of his party. Okay. It was very personal to Nigel why I defected.
Okay. You say he's a funny person. We've seen recently some of his old school friends didn't find him as funny. Where do you stand on these rumours of him making racist jokes and making people feel targeted because of their race?
I put no truth to it. I mean, it's, 45 years ago? There's no way they can remember what happened 45 years ago. And he's denied it. It really is lowballing smear campaign, because fight us on the policies. I mean, you saw what the chairman of the Conservatives said, compared us to the Nazis yesterday. Mm-hmm. They cannot fight us on the policies, so they're pulling up all dirt. And I think it's just going to get worse and worse, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's the same playbook that they pulled on Trump, and they're pulling it here. And I think it does work on some. I would never ever be part of any party or any leader that I thought was racist. Never. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. My best friends are from all backgrounds, ethnic or social. My parents are, I actually did my DNA. I'm 100% Egyptian African. Mm-hmm. So I would never be part of a racist party. And that I've never felt any inkling of racism from anyone in the party, actually.
Okay. Well, what do you think the public perception is of not just Farage, but Reform UK as a whole?
I mean, it depends, right? So you've got some, obviously, who feel that we're giving a voice to those who've never had a voice. Mm-hmm. The silent majority, they like to call it, people call it, and it's true. And when I travel up and down the country, people are like, thank you so much for speaking up for us, because no one ever has. Because, things like mass migration affects the whole country, but we've been told to shut up and put up with it, because if you talk about the negative aspects of it, you're divisive or racist or not accepting or not British. That's not true. We're only allowed to bring the flag up during World Cup or the Olympics. Otherwise, we hide it in a cupboard, put our head down and not talk about how British we are in case we offend anyone else. So now we're giving a voice to all those people. When I go to America, I know your wife's American, I see the American flag everywhere.
Yeah.
I love it. It's fantastic. But somehow you're not allowed to do that here. And then you do get the other side of the spectrum who somehow, I've been called racist and fascist so many times. I was on Newsnight with Zach Polanski, and he called me racist for saying that the men coming on illegal boats could be rapists or terrorists. And I find it quite ironic, because I think he's a white guy.
Yeah, he's Jewish.
Yeah, the people coming on those boats are from where my parents are from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're mainly from the Middle East. Some are from Egypt.
Yeah.
I'm not racist against them. I'm just calling out the truth. And I think it's really dangerous when you conflate both things, which is what they're trying to do, because they can't argue the actual problem. It's like when Shabana Mahmood said that illegal migration is really divisive and it's led to racism towards her. It's really conflating both issues. It's not racist to call those men on the boats, could be sexual offenders, could be rapists. And I don't think actually illegal migration is dividing the nation. I think it's uniting the nation, that we do not want it. We don't want illegal migration controlled, which is what Labour's presenting. We want it stopped. And then I think some people tell me, because you're the daughter of immigrants, there's a limit to how much you can talk about immigration. How dare you? Or, that precludes you from ever talking about immigration. That's not true. When my parents came in the 60s, immigration was in the tens of thousands. Mm-hmm. And what happens when immigrants come in small numbers, like my parents when they came? They wanted to assimilate. But even if they didn't, you have to assimilate. But when you come in massive numbers, you tend to dominate certain areas. And I think that's what we're seeing.
So how do you think your parents would be treated now if they were arriving from Egypt in today's society in Britain?
I think they'd be treated very nicely, because my parents came to work. Mm-hmm. They would have applied for the 5-year visa that we're talking about. They speak very good English. And they came to work and be success. And that's the thing about this country. If you come and embrace it and embrace everything it has to offer, not fight it, it gives back so much. But if you come here with the aim of changing it, then you will get pushback. And that pushback can be aggressive. And rightly so. People want to protect their country and they want to protect their way of life and they want to protect their values. It's not racist. It's patriotism.
It is patriotism. I've seen calls on social media for people who have the Union flag in their bio who would say that you and I, who are born in this country, well, we're not British and we should be deported along with everyone else. How do you feel about that? Like, what's your stance on that? Because ultimately, as I say, you're British, I'm British, but to some voters in this country, we're not.
Yeah, and that is racist. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I consider myself very British, and being British is something I'm very proud of. So I do take offence to that, actually. Mm-hmm. But I have seen some people say that some people are British, right, born here like you and I, mm-hmm. but they go on to commit a terrorist attack, right? Are they British? And I think, rightly so, British is not just about a passport. It's about what's in your heart, you know, what you love, Britain to me is like, it's like a family member. You know, I will defend it and I love it and I will protect it as much as I can. But there are others who do have a passport who feel the opposite. They want to destroy it. Mm. And so there is a question over whether they are British.
Okay. How do you feel about the calls from some on the right that reform would be stronger if they brought back Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib?
So I've never met either.
Okay.
And it was completely before my time. But
you've seen them on TV. You know what they're about. You know what they stand for.
I've seen them on social media. I haven't seen them so much on TV.
Okay.
All I've seen of Ben Habib is him ranting about how bad reform is, or Nigel. I've never seen him. I don't watch any podcasts he does or anything.
Essentially, he basically says things like Nigel Farage doesn't like to be challenged, and that's why Ben Habib has to leave the party. Same for Rupert Lowe. They think that Nigel Farage, it's all about him, and it's not actually about reform. It's about the ego and the cult status of Farage.
So I don't see that at all. But I'll tell you one thing. Having been in the Conservatives, it is the most refreshing experience to be in a party where the leadership is not questioned. It's respected. Everyone in the party respects Nigel Farage, respects his opinions and his leadership. And that is the foundations and the characteristics of a leader. You know, it's not enforced on us. Mm-hmm. You know, in fact, people are defecting because they respect his leadership. And that's very refreshing. And I think maybe Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe potentially wanted to be the leaders. I don't know, and they can't take it. You know, it's an ego thing. Nigel Farage is very good at relaying a message and understanding what the public wants. And I've never had to question any of his judgments.